lost to the Steelers. Time now for Nick to hand out some NBA medals. Rockets and Lakers last night. How about LeBron James?
Oh, my.
Year 19, age 36, throwing down reverse jams in transition like he's 35 or something. It's crazy. Somehow, though, didn't make the medal stand. Nick, which three guys did it better this weekend?
All right, it's hard to make the medal stand on the weekend. We'll start with, you got to be Friday, Saturday, Sunday, all the games put together. Who are the best guys? Bronze medalist, James Harden. Is James Harden going to be able to handle not getting foul calls? The answer to that question, no. But if he gets foul calls like he did against the Pacers, he's back to being James Harden. Hey there, 19 free throw attempts, and that looks like a James Harden stat line. Last night didn't get the calls, and back to the new James Harden stat line. But hey, Friday, it was a nice little reminiscing for James Harden and the officials. Silver medal, LaMelo Ball. Luka called me this weekend, said, Dad, I feel like you're talking about LaMelo a little too much and me not enough. And I said, you know what, son? You are correct. Me and LeVar, we both have sons in the league, and we both have a favorite. Right now, it's Luka, but it could become LaMelo for me as well, just like LeVar. LeVar, we see how you look when you talk about LaMelo compared to your other boys. Gold medalist, a Nick Bing Bong R.J. Barrett, 35, 8, and 6. For a feisty Knicks team.
Oh, yeah.
I'm glad New York City has an NBA team they can be proud of, Broussard. There is the medal stand from the weekend in the NBA.
Wow. It was nice, Nick, but I think you got to get Carmelo Anthony on there. Maybe in front of James Harden, as much as I like the beard. Melo, Nick, 23 points, 24 points in 2 games, each game for the Lakers, 2 wins. He hits 11 of 16 threes. Melo was huge. He turned back the clock. He could have had 2 Melos on the stand.
That's true. That's fair.
All right. Hey, Kevin Wells, who just missed the cut?
You know, you don't get a lot of medal standings for defense, but Matisse might have had the 2 best blocks of the year in about a 2-minute period, both on Cam Reddish. There's one that he sends out for a souvenir, and look at this one. This is more Bill Russell. Give me that. I'll just take it and start the break. Congratulations, Matisse. You didn't make the medal stand, but fantastic play. Cam Reddish, up night.
You should have. You should have. Tom Brady also didn't make the medal stand because that would have been odd. He was turnover Tom yesterday in New Orleans, gave it away 3 caution. You'd think Brady would have a field day at this point. You would be wrong. Bucks struggled, but they were in it till the end, the very end. Right here when this happened, Brady, Bucks driving, picked off by P.J. Williams, and that would seal it for New Orleans, the defending champs, falling to the Saints with their 3rd-string quarterback. Mike, that had to surprise you. Bucks couldn't get a win against the Saints after Jameis left with a knee injury. Were you surprised?
Honestly, no, I wasn't surprised. First, I'll just say this. You know, every quarterback is entitled to a bad day, and I think Tom had his bad day yesterday, and it's hard to win in New Orleans. But Dennis Allen don't get enough credit with the New Orleans Saints as far as what he's done on defense. He has a big 3 in Cam Jordan, Marshawn Lattimore, and Demario Davis, all 3 levels of the defense. They got Pro Bowl players, and when you can scheme around that, when you can call defenses around those type of players, then you're going to get good, productive defense. So I feel like they know Brady. Seeing him a couple times over the last year, they found his tendencies and know what they like. And, Tom struggles in New Orleans. But, the one thing that's going to have to happen is that, come playoff time, he may end up back in New Orleans like he did last year. So we'll see what happens. No time to panic. But the New Orleans Saints defense deserve a lot of credit for what they did yesterday. Take nothing away. I did expect more out of the Bucks, but, it just wasn't their day.
Yeah, I was very surprised, particularly once Jameis went down. And I'm not a huge Jameis fan the way Broussard is, but he's obviously better than Trevor Siemian. But I shouldn't have been surprised. And I need to give the Saints defense more credit than I gave it going into the year. If you guys remember going into the year, I said I didn't think the Saints were going to be a super relevant team because they were going to struggle so much on offense, but the defense has been exceptional. And if the defense has anyone's number, it's Tom Brady. Show Brady's numbers in the regular season with the Bucks against New Orleans and then against everyone else. It's night and day what Tom Brady does against this defense compared to how he's done from wins, losses, passer rating, all of it. And I know the audience might be saying, yeah, but he beat him in the playoffs. He didn't play that great in the playoff game. He threw for less than 200 yards. The Saints had control of that playoff game until they turned the ball over on 3 of their final 4 possessions to give it away. So we talk so much, Broussard, about, blueprint. We have the blueprint to beat the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes. I don't know that I really believe in blueprints like that, but I do wonder if teams across the league are going to start saying, what is New Orleans doing? Because this is Brady, who has made so few mistakes since he's been a Buck, and he makes multiple mistakes every game against the Saints. And I know they have really good defensive personnel, but I don't think they have the best defensive personnel in football. So I think it matters in that regard. I also think it matters in regard to the Bucs chasing the 1 seed, which I think is going to be important, and it just got much more difficult for them to get.
Well, look, and beyond the way they play against Brady, the Saints give Todd Bowles and that Tampa Bay defense trouble. All right, that defense has allowed 34 or more points in just 4 games in the last 2 seasons. 3 of those games were against New Orleans. So they've got something going against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I'll give you that, Nick. But I'm with Mike. This is no cause for concern. This was, unfortunately, one of those games that good teams have every now and again. That's why only 2 teams have gone the regular season undefeated over the last, 50-some-odd years. All right, Baltimore, we've seen them have a bad game. Green Bay, we've seen them have a horrible game. Cincinnati, now, it happens, all right? And I don't want to dismiss everything related to the Saints because we pointed out a few patterns, but I'm not the least bit concerned about Tampa Bay, even if they do end up having to play New Orleans in the playoffs. I did predict the Saints to get to the playoffs, so I'm feeling good about that wild card pick, even without Jameis. But, no, I think this will actually be a wake-up call for Tampa Bay because they were penalized so much yesterday. That's what cost them the game along with the turnovers. They can shore things up on that in terms of penalties. They did it last year. They were terrible with penalties in the first 4 weeks and then tremendous once they made a concerted effort to get rid of them over the last 3 months. I think they do the same thing with the bye week coming up as well, Jenna.
All right, well, let's stick with the Saints. So they did lose Jameis. What is the plan B now? Because we don't know what's going to happen. You guys see this? Will Brinson tweeted it yesterday after Jameis went down. He said, Phillip Rivers' St. Michael's varsity team finished their season on Friday night. Believe they just missed 4A playoffs. Rivers, less than 3 hours away, would consider returning to Wright spot with Jameis Winston tearing his ACL. Sean Payton should give Rivers a call. Mike Vick, should the Saints sign Phillip Rivers with Jameis sidelined?
I mean, you can sign Phillip Rivers right now, but I like Trevor Siemian for a couple reasons. I felt like he had some success in Denver, and I think he can hold it down until Taysom Hill comes back. The question is, when does Taysom Hill return? They got 2 guys in the building already who understands the system, knows the offense, and can pick up where Jameis left off. And by the time Phillip Rivers get there, get acclimated, you're talking, 4 to 5 weeks before he can even come in and be effective. By that time, Taysom Hill will be back. So for that reason alone, I say no. Phillip Rivers is starting his coaching career, and he's doing great right now. So let Phillip Rivers enjoy his retirement, ride it out with Trevor Siemian and Taysom Hill.
So I'll go the other way, Mike, just for the sake of argument. If you were Sean Payton, the phone works both ways. Phillip Rivers, I'm sure, could get Sean Payton's number. Would you hang up on Phillip Rivers or say, no, we're not interested? Because this team is 5-2. They've got the same